Rick Ross is being criticized by Big Meech for putting him in a difficult situation after forcing him to make big promises. Let's face it, Meech is not just irritated, he is upset. When Meech and Ross collaborated, it wasn't just about the music. Rick Ross had a clear plan. He came in bragging about a new show, a larger budget, and even a big concert to celebrate his return. It all sounded great at the time. But now that Ross seems to have disappeared, Rick Ross hasn't delivered on any of his promises. The commitment, and he's currently in a panic, and to be honest, he has every reason to be concerned, because Big Meech does not take dishonesty lightly, which only serves to fuel the flames. Since Meech paired with Rick Ross, 50 Cent has been relentless in his jabs. As soon as Big Meech connected with Ross for the Welcome Home performance, 50 hurried to Instagram and began teasing. Originally, Ross had big plans for Meech, and when he was released from prison, he was pushing this enormous. The Welcome Home concert was supposed to be a big occasion. The catch is that Big Meech was even promised a portion of the ticket sales, which would have been a huge payday. However, the concert never happened, and everything was abruptly canceled. Federal agents allegedly swooped in with letters to cancel everything, which is why the rumors started to circulate. Let's face it, who else could have that kind of influence? Many people are speculating that 50 Cent was the one pulling the strings. If this is accurate, it implies that he did it behind the scenes merely to make amends with Rick Ross. Although 50 has not acknowledged his involvement, he had a lot to say when Boozy Baz brought up the subject in a Vlad TV interview. 50 then took to Instagram to make fun of the whole situation, posting, "Hey, I'm just asking for a friend." Does this mean the show's not going on? In a disrespectful manner.
I'm like, what? What the? I could have saved this bitch $5,000 outfit.
And we must not overlook the fact that 50 anticipated this scenario, foreseeing that it would be closed before it even happened, and then promptly disassociated himself from any involvement as though he wasn't laughing about it all. But the worst part was when everything fell apart, and Big Meech was having difficulties. Rick Ross waited to use Meech as a means of settling scores with 50 Cent, but he did nothing to assist. Adding to the intrigue, 50 Cent recently posted a photo of Tammy, who has been accused of being a federal informant. In the messages, he purportedly asked Tammy if she knew she was working with the government while he was in jail. In response, she provided more details about the matter. Just last week, 50 emailed Tammy Cowan, "The truth and nothing but the truth coming soon." It's important to note that he was already accusing Meech of cooperating with authorities by saying, "Listen to the words big screech you keep. I forgot you instructed Tammy Cowans to get your time cuts, jerk." He made sure to tag all of his brands, which is classic 50 Cent, and it's not just him. Insiders in the industry have been talking about this for a while now, and it appears that there may be much more to the story than Meech is willing to admit. Blue Da Vinci and Cuffy have also come forward to say that Big Meech was involved in their incarceration, claiming that he used Tammy Cowan as an informant.
Meech have information on you and give it to Tammy so you could get caught up in it. How did that happen? So that means you got to go back to the movies. Right, that's the... Oh, Meech and Tammy was trying to get Suarez.
Exactly. But when the government found out she was in contact with me, they switched the investigation toward me.
Prior to all of this turmoil, 50 Cent had been helping Lil Meech. He had made significant investments, such as paying for his acting lessons to get ready for his role in the BMF series and handling his business affairs. Do you remember when there were rumors that Lil Meech was struggling with substance abuse? His initiative to pay for and send him to rehab shows how strong their relationship is.
I'm like, man, acting must just be reading lines off of paper, like something like this. You know, when I get there, like, hey, don't look at the paper, imagine what mom...
However, Big Meech changed allegiance, and as soon as he became close to Rick Ross 50, he severed all ties with everyone involved. He clarified it that he was ending the BMF series, which is essentially where Lil Meech makes his money. To make matters worse, both Meech and his son are currently experiencing financial difficulties. Since the Welcome Home concert didn't work out, 50 has been very petty with all the promotions. He's been blurring and changing Lil Meech's face whenever he discusses BMF, almost like he's trying to erase him. Rick Ross didn't remain silent either. Instead of just admitting, he started making more claims, this time stating that he intends to make his own BMF series. And not just any series, but one that will have a bigger budget than 50 Cent.
I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do.
It was supposed to be Big Meech's last chance, and if Ross had followed through, Meech could have made a lot of money. However, like everything else Ross promised, the show never came to pass. It was all talk. What's even more frustrating is that 50 Cent owns the rights to the Black Mafia Family story for TV and movies. So Ross couldn't legally pursue this project without involving him. As a result, all of that boasting was in vain, and 50 continues to poke fun at him online. To make things worse, Rick Ross hasn't done anything to support Big Meech. He was very vocal about using Meech's name to get to 50, but now that things are getting tough, he has stopped talking. Let's face it, this is the exact reason 50 Cent has been poking fun at Rick Ross for years. 50 claims that Ross only brings him up to maintain his public image, and that whenever he wants to trend, he must bring up 50's name. At this point, it's clear that Ross joined the BMF trend in retaliation against 50.
Outside of mentioning me. When things get bad, you mention me.
In an Instagram story clip, Rick Ross boasted about being the only person to ever actually get to 50 Cent, which abruptly rekindled their feud. Ross even mentioned his rival's late mother.
Person that flagged 50 Cent up, I ain't know that. I'm gonna be honest. Tony Yayo told 50 Cent himself, y'all can Google.
He was also Tony Yayo claims that he has already cautioned 50 about his mistakes. Ross made fun of Yayo and Uncle Murder for seeming elderly and implying that they needed skincare procedures. Naturally, Tony Yayo responded, saying that because of their close connection and loyalty, he is used to getting drawn into arguments with people in their 50s.
Tony Yayo said, I wouldn't do that if I was, because Tony Yayo know them niggas ain't got no money. Come on, man, look at Tony Yayo on team that.
Let's face it, Ross seems to dislike Yayo's genuine loyalty to 50, which has always been demonstrated. However, Ross didn't stop there. After going too far, he changed strategies and started making fun of 50's company endeavors. This time, he attacked the G-Unit Studios project in Louisiana, claiming that 50 couldn't complete it because he is broke and the banks won't lend him money.
You struggling making that G-Unit film studio out there in Louisiana where that cheapest land at. You thought you was gonna be able to do it. You thought you was gonna be able to get them loans, and it ain't. What's wrong?
50 Cent was obviously not going to let Rick Ross get away with it, and he made fun of Ross for appearing as a special guest on the Millennium Tour. While most people see this lineup as a lighthearted throwback to the 2000s, 50 Cent sees it as a symbol of something far more important. That Rick Ross isn't the heavyweight he acts like, which is ridiculous for a so-called rap artist. This whole drama started because Rick Ross kept bringing up 50 Cent. But the real victim of Big Meech's frustrations during the BMF era was him. If you owed him anything, he would come get it. Now there are rumors that Rick Ross is feeling the pressure in private because Ross is allegedly aware that Big Meech and actual BMF associates could confront him at any time, either directly or through others, and demand explanations. If that happens, let's just say Ross might find himself in trouble.
Over his head.
Take the bad along with the good and show his crew know how to be men.
Is Rick Ross truly worried about Big Meech possibly pursuing him? Did he take on more than he can handle by attempting to play both sides? Do you think 50 Cent will ever allow this problem to go away? What's the next step after everything that's happened? This is only the start for him. In order to be informed about the most recent developments in this story, please leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and enable alerts.